The following session is a psychic reading conducted by Mrs. Ross Peterson with the sensitive Ross Peterson at Laughing Gull Point, Garden, Michigan. Please clear the mind and inform us when the mind is clear.
The mind is clear.
Dear Lord, please protect this entity from all negative influences, regardless of source, and give us the answers we seek of this inquiring mind through the manifestation of truth, intelligence, and love. Amen. Would you please allow your mind to go to whom, to where, to what, and to when it is directed?
The questions we have all basically pertain to ill health and its cause, and are designed to be available to the general public in aiding the greatest number of people toward the furthering of their soul development. Please adapt your answers to the fulfillment of this objective, and phrase your answers to the comprehension level of the layman rather than to the specialist. What is the cause of physical disease?
Whether it is understood or not, or whether it is accepted or not, all illnesses of any entity are the end result of sin. Sinful what? Sin first in that of the thoughts. For thoughts are real, as real as anything he might know. Man is on the brink of developing mechanical contrivances that will eventually be able to measure the length of wave that is contained within a single thought. When this is consummated, then you will find that of the records that man knows as the Akashic records will be available to all by employing mechanical means. Then man will be able to explore specific causes of illness with specific individuals. However, for that would be most helpful now, the sins, and there are many misconceptions of what is sinful and what not, is that ultimately causes a disruption within the physical form. In order to more easily understand this, we would have to discuss the subject of matter, as man knows matter, density, or the lack of that of the same. Now, if ye would take any physical body, or any object that ye know as matter, ye would find that it is composed basically of what man knows as atoms. Now, if you would explore the structure of an atom and go inward into that of an atom, you would find within the atom many mini-atoms. For you could go inward and inward and inward and inward forever, yet you would never truly touch upon that man knows as matter. For in actuality, density is nothing more than the end result of a gathering or conglomeration of thought. This is the creative force of God expressed in its simplest terms. For all things are of God and of the force of God. If man but knew of the powers of his mind, then man could create a world in an instant, as God is capable of doing so. However, in order to more easily understand life in this dimension, it is best to look to the mind, for mind is the builder, mind is the master, mind is the direct link to the creative forces. Now, the thought of mind is transmitted to every atom of a physical body. For this atom is in a constant state of vibration and can be honestly considered a universe within itself. And contained within this universe might be a planet, and contained within that planet might be universes within universes within universes. All are vibration. All are a portion or an extension of the thinking process. For that is held in the mind in the form of thoughts ultimately must always be produced within that of the physical form. Now, if any entity so chooses, and it is within the providence of any that do so choose, they can duplicate, they can emulate, they can copy, so to speak, that of the tenet that was laid down by he who was the master, Jesus, who attained the Christ consciousness. This entity and many others have fulfilled their purpose in this dimension by so knowing the law and understanding the law that they become the law. And when they do, they radiate perfect health. Now, is this to say that these masters never wearied of flesh, never felt tired, never felt listless or despondent? Nay, this is not that is indicated, for the master and the other masters were weary to their very bones at times, were tired, and occasionally there were those who imbibed a little too much of the food and drink and did suffer the consequences. But nonetheless, they would radiate what might be known as perfect health in this dimension. Now understand, first of all, the physical body itself is an expression of selfishness. And the sin of self must be answered. If there would be a mind that would be filled with peace and tranquility, one who would not condemn, one who would not hate, one who would not envy, one who would not judge, then you would find that the average lifetime of that entity in that of the flesh should be roughly between 120 and 140 years, as ye count time. Any entity who lives not to this physical age has simply committed the greater number of sin. There are exceptions to every rule, and this depends upon the purpose of the entering in of the soul itself. But ye can safely say for most that the earlier the demise of the physical body, the greater the amount of sinful thinking. You see, hold the mind